Are you ready for the weekend yet? We have events, news, and a guest for you to enjoy this Lake Life weekend. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Lake Life Weekend Podcast. Lake Life year-round. It's finally a little bit snowy and we can enjoy everything, hopefully more of snowmobiling, ice fishing, Detroit Mountain and those things. Weekend 50, I'm Dirk, I'm your host, and please stay tuned to learn from Linda Ogroske, who is our guest here with us today, about Bongards premium cheese manufactured in Perham, and learn about a very interesting small hidden gem, their retail space, which opened earlier this year on downtown Perham. So please stay tuned for this. Some news and event updates here for you before we go into the interview. I thought there was an interesting find. Essential Health Oak Crossing Nursing Home in DL was named Best in the Nation. Well, I think that's interesting because this also reflects the quality of life that we have in our area. As we probably all know, we are living in a really unique place. And I thought that was interesting to mention. It's on every level. We have great living in the area. So if you want to read the article, it's on DL News, DL Online News. We have a link on our website. Some events this weekend, live music with Mike Gilson at the Detroit Mountain Recreational Area on December 15, 7 p.m. through 9 p.m. A magical Medora Christmas, same day, December 15 at 7:30 p.m. through 9 p.m. at Detroit Lakes Middle School. Medora's top 5 performers will come to Detroit Lakes Middle School for a Christmas show featuring music, comedy, magic, and more. Tickets $25, all details on our website and a link. I think that's really interesting. Another one, Jewel with the Kilchers Holiday Show, the Shooting Star Casino in Menomen. Jewel, who is a famous country music star, joins with her family to sing holiday songs at Shooting Star Casino Menomen, also December 15, 8 p.m. through 9:30. And then the following day, December 16, we have the Faction Rail Jam at the DL Mountain, which will kick off the season with a rail jam in the rail yard. 11 a.m. through 4 p.m. Also details on our website. And then on December 16, noon through 3 p.m., Santa's Reindeer in Detroit Lakes. Live reindeer will be in the parking lot of Washington Square Mall. Come check them out. So we have quite a bit of activity here again this weekend. Thank you again for tuning in, and now stay tuned to listen to our interview with Linda on Bongards premium cheese. Thank you. Have a great weekend ahead. Hello, welcome to our interview part. I'm here with Linda Ogroske of Bongards cheese from Perham, and she works in the retail shop that opened last year here on Main. And before we speak about Bongards and cheeses, the premium cheese manufacturer, welcome, Linda.
Well, thank you. My name is Linda Ogroske, and I have been with Bongards for 11 years now. We had a small place in the front of the offices where we sold cheese, but it was getting a little bit out of hand, and I was told I was a distraction, so we started looking for a retail store, and we found one on 210 East Main.
Right downtown Perham.
Right in Perham, only a couple blocks from the plant, so we can easily get cheese right from the plant, which makes it very, very easy.
Short distribution. Before we go too deep into Bongards, the history and where they're from and since when they're locally in Lakes Country, tell us a little bit about Linda. You are from Perham?
I am from Perham. I was born and raised on a dairy farm, which I think is probably one of the reasons I went looking for a position in Bongards when, I said I've been there for 11 years now, and I started out with purchasing and security and a little bit of retail. And I grew with Bongards. They've grown tremendously in the last 11 years that I've been with them.
Okay, so you know the company in and out a little bit.
Well, a little bit.
And you said 11 years. Bongards has not been originally from Perham. Bongards is actually a town where they are originated from. Is that correct?
The original plant is in Bongards, Minnesota, and it was founded in 1908, and it is owned by the patrons. It's a cooperative.
It's a cooperative, yeah. And
Farmer owned.
Farmer owned. No, and dairy farmers in 1908. So it's also a traditional company. When I looked at its beautiful signage, I saw it for the first time last year, to be honest. And 110 years almost next year, I guess.
I was with Bongards when they celebrated their 100th anniversary.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they made a beautiful black wax old cheddar to celebrate it.
Wow. Where is Bongard, if we don't know?
Bongards, Minnesota is approximately 24 miles west of St. Paul on Highway 212. In the rolling hills, dairy country, it's beautiful down there.
Okay, so close to the Twin Cities.
Correct.
And how many locations are there now? They have a facility, obviously, in Perham, in Bongards, and isn't there a third?
There's a third one in Humboldt, Tennessee. That was purchased in 2011.
So it's a fairly large group. So
it's a very large group.
Very large. How many employees to understand who Bongards is?
Perham plant has, I think, 133 right at the moment. Humboldt, Tennessee is, I think they're well over 200, and I know that the Bongards, Minnesota one is probably over 300.
So pushing 600 employees.
Correct.
That is a fairly large company. And Bongards manufactures cheese. It's a big thing, but maybe let's start here. Bongards here is receiving the dairy from local to connect to Lakes Country. We are having local dairy distributed to make our cheese here locally.
All of our milk comes from pretty much the surrounding area. We do get a little bit from Veblen, North Dakota, and Milner. Veblen, South Dakota, and Milner, North Dakota. I know we get some truckloads in, but we are getting approximately 80 semi-loads of milk in a day, and that is about 4 million pounds a day of milk.
That sounds huge. It's almost crazy.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of milk. But what I like is like you're a local company, you're in the heart of Lakes Country, and you're using local resources. Obviously, our dairy from local grasses, local fields. I mean, we are a local product producing here, and it goes worldwide, right?
Correct.
So we send our milk everywhere. How many?
Our cheese. Everywhere.
Our cheese. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So tell us maybe a little bit about the process. Is it how is it made? Is it?
Well, I wish I knew more about the actual process. It's very automated. The milk comes in and it goes into holding tanks, and then it goes into some, I forget what they call them. Anyway, a lot of the water is taken off of the milk, so it doesn't take so long to make the cheese.
So it's 80 truckloads. We have a lot of 4,000 pounds, you said. We produce a lot of cheese. Is there many different varieties? How many different varieties? What is our main?
We make a cheddar, we make a Monterey Jack, we make a Colby Jack, and then we make a mozzarella, and then a low-fat cheese we also make.
Okay.
All of our cheese is produced in 40-pound blocks and 500-pound barrels, and it is sent to our other 2 plants for processing. That's where it is cut and wrapped, made into those famous American slices, and shredded.
Okay. So
we don't not do any of that in Perham.
Okay, so that's that's out in a different location.
All that cheese that's in my retail store has gone from Perham to Bongards or Humboldt, Tennessee, and then cut and wrapped, processed, and brought back to Perham.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite a process. How long has Bongards been here?
We've been here since 2004. Previously, it was a Land O'Lakes plant, and it was shut down, and it was empty for, I think, almost 2 years. And then Bongards bought it in 2004, and it would have been their second plant then.
Okay.
And at that time, that is when the plant in Bongards, Minnesota discontinued taking the milk in and only became a processing plant. So Perham is the only plant of the 3 plants that actually takes the milk in and actually makes the cheese.
Okay. So we are a key component in the Bongards supply chain, or like in the...
No, they couldn't do it without Perham, no.
So, okay, very interesting. So they came to town in 2004, and Bongards is a key, is an employee of, you said 133 employees, I think.
In the Perham plant,
in
yes.
the Perham plant, so it plays a big role in the community, and it revitalized an existing facility after it was shut down from Land O'Lakes and closed. Very interesting. So now the cheeses are produced in your retail store. That, I mean, you produce for the consumer, but you also produce bulk, or like what goes worldwide? Is that for bigger restaurant chains, or
a lot of our cheese is repackaged under different names and sold to restaurants, yes. And I don't know any of that, where that goes, but we don't only do cheese here, and I don't think you knew that. We do a full line of whey products too.
What is that?
Well, the salt whey comes off the cheese, and then that can be dried down, and they take the key components out of that, and they make a 90% protein, an 80% protein, DPW powder, and Pro Cream, and that is all sold worldwide.
Oh.
And that is only manufactured in the Perham plant also.
Okay.
The 90% protein is what's used in all the energy drinks and weightlifters for bulking up.
Yep. Okay.
It's used in nutrition bars. So it's not just cheese that Bongards does.
So you take all out of the milk, whatever. Yeah, no, okay. Otherwise,
so half of our employees are on the whey side.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Okay. I just connect Bongards with the big sign and
the premium cheese, right?
Yes. So tell us how many different cheeses are in the retail store. So the retail store is for like our residents and our visitors that come here and buy cheese. How many different kind of cheeses do you have in there? I think it was hundreds, right?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, because we're looking at putting a new sign on Highway 10, and I was asked to count them yesterday, and I counted 157 that we have right now, different varieties in the store.
And they're all made from Bongards?
No, they are not all made
so
from Bongards. We have a lot of cheese that's actually from Wisconsin in our store, but people want a wide variety, and there's a lot of cheese that we do not make. We don't make the Goudas, and we don't make the Havartis, and
you have Gouda there.
We have a really good Gouda. It's made in Wisconsin.
I don't get Gouda anywhere else, really. Interesting. So 157 different cheeses. So it's probably
right at the moment, yes.
And we're growing probably. We have probably the broadest or greatest cheese selection in the area, then, of course, huh?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to promote our cheese, but there's a lot of different appetites of people that are looking for the different. They can. I don't even know how to explain, but there's so many recipes that call for so many different kinds of cheese, and there's no way that we could possibly have everything that people are looking for. But I can find it most of the time through my suppliers.
Oh, really? So, I mean, I guess I grew up with the cheese culture, I guess, a little bit broader. I mentioned that to you before, but I'm exposed to a lot of French cheese in Europe and Germany, and Swiss cheese, and we have those mountain cheeses that are just very hearty. Can you also get your hands on international cheeses?
I can, but by the time we pay the shipping and everything on it, it gets pretty outrageously priced, and I don't know. The local people are not willing to pay that amount for it.
No, I understand. Yeah, I didn't know if there's any of that distributed into the United States, and then just it's hard to get your hands on. I know that if it's really from Switzerland, I suppose. But so we have 157, where a lot comes from Wisconsin, and you mentioned Gouda. What is your? I mean, is it how many different varieties? Is it 157 different varieties of cheese? No.
No, but like in the Havartis, you got the dill, you got the caraway, you got the plain.
Okay.
Like the cheese curds, at any given time we probably have 8 flavors of cheese curds on hand, and those we flavor right in the back of the store.
Mm-hmm.
We have sour cream and onion, sweet garlic dill, Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Yeah, that one's really good.
For Sundays.
Plain. We do a lot of different. We change out the different seasonings though too.
Mm-hmm. What's the most favorite of yours?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Bloody Mary.
Really? I hit it right on the spot. You mentioned an 11-year-old
Cheddar
earlier. It's aged 11 years, obviously?
Yes, that one is. We have our plant manager now is going through some of the cheese that was made initially when Bongards purchased the plant. And this one that I cut this past week happened to be made in 2006. And cheese ages really, really well. This one happens to be really creamy. It has the crystals in it like a good aged cheese should have. It's tangy. It's pretty amazing, but it's one of a kind because they only kept like 1 block out of, every batch every once in a while. So there is no other one like it.
And how much is left?
I just cut it, so we probably have maybe 2/3 of it left.
And what is a block?
A block is 40 pounds.
Oh, okay. So there's a little bit of time.
And I cut it into probably right around 11 to 12 ounce cuts.
Okay.
Because we cut and wrap it then too.
Okay. So I wasn't really aware. I know that we have an age tag to the whiskeys and we have an age tag obviously to the wine, but there is a cheese that we can age and
you can age any cheddar and
really?
It'll come out. We had a 4-year-old 2 weeks ago that was pretty amazing for a 4-year-old cheese too.
How do you communicate that? Do you have like this is a special, like an 11-year-old or a 4-year-old? Do you have a following where they say, oh yeah, what's next month? Or now how does that go? I mean, like,
we do have a following, yes. I do post it on Facebook when we cut something a little more unique, like this 11-year-old. The cheesemaker or plant manager that we have now likes to try a lot of new things. So we have sample blocks quite often too that, they could be 2 months old, they could be a year old. We never know what we're going to get.
Okay.
We cut it, we sample it, people like it, they buy it.
Okay. So it's also an experience to visit, and it's for the plant manager, it seems it's like not a playground, a sandbox where we get immediate consumer feedback. No? I mean, like...
Oh, yeah, you get immediate.
Yeah.
You get an aged cheddar like that 11-year-old, and people that aren't used to that taste are probably not going to like it.
Oh, really? Is it sharp? Or is it
very sharp. Very sharp. You should come over and...
I will come over and buy one. No,
it's
I'm
an
already
acquired
hungry.
Taste, like your drier wines. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, no, I can see it. What we now are missing is a real good bakery. You should maybe add baguette or something. 'Cause I miss the bread. Maybe you don't want to have just a toast. We need the right bread for the right cheese. I think.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, so we need to make sure that people get that. But like, what else makes it unique to visit the retail?
Well, we got top-notch employees. Number one.
Can I come and do I get educated as a consumer if I don't know enough about cheese? Like, can you guide me into a direction because you have so many varieties?
I certainly can, and the girls that I hired when we opened in March are learning a lot. So they're getting a whole lot better on guiding.
So if and you mentioned also that there's so many recipes to cook with cheese. I never really think of cheese as an ingredient other than on my bread, but that's me, and maybe on pizza. But explain that to me. Do you cook? Like, do you put?
Well, I
it
think
on,
there's just like a lot of fondue recipes out there. I think is what most of the people are looking for.
Oh, cheese fondue.
Right.
That's a Swiss thing. So
well, no, but there's so many different cheeses that can go into it.
Oh, really? I have no clue.
And now we've had more and more people coming in that want to do, that real exquisite cheese plate too for the holidays.
Sure.
So we try to lead them in the right direction.
Okay. Do you know raclette? at all? I don't know if it's pronounced right. Okay, it's kind of like a grill thing. It's like it's not a sandwich maker. It's a little device, and you have little pans, and you put meats or mushrooms or something, and then you put raclette cheese, and then you grill it in little pans. It's a family event, like 8 people around a table, and you kind of it must be a European thing. Maybe I pronounced it
No, is
wrong.
that something? It's called Swissmar. Swissmar makes it.
Maybe.
Because I think there
Raclette.
was something over at the Nest that they were
Okay,
advertising.
yeah, probably. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's
Because I was looking into that.
yeah. Okay, so that is not uncommon to do during Christmas season, in at least in my friends' sphere in Germany, because you sit on New Year's. Christmas is different. New Year's Eve, we throw a little party or smaller, and then you're 8-10 people, and then you sit around that little stove that you described, and then you can fry on the top of it.
Right. That's
and
what
then,
it is.
Yes, and then you put little pans in there, and then you use the cheese. Anyways, now we have the cheese sauce, and I just come from cheese fondue, which is similar, right? You have a pot with melted
Right.
cheese, and you dip out of it, correct?
Right. You dip breads or cake or whatever, fruit.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, fruit too.
Sure. I mean, like I eat my brie with.
Oh, we have brie too.
You do, yeah, yeah, good.
We don't make it, but we do sell brie.
Yeah, that is also newer to the area, I find. Maybe in the past, I don't know, I haven't found it, maybe in the past 5 years I found it in some grocery stores. It wasn't a common product in the area, I thought.
But we do have people that ask for it, so
Good.
we do have it in stock now.
Yeah, good. So, you said you get a new signage. What is there anything else? What is coming new? 157 as a more cheese you want to add?
Well, some, we'll get in and it doesn't sell real well, so then, we'll get rid of it and then we'll just keep trying. The sky's the limit on what you can order, so.
Yeah. You plan some tasting events? I mean, you said you have something obviously to taste, but there's those wine events. I don't know where people.
We hope to do more of that.
Okay.
We hope. We've only been on Main Street since March, and we all have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were thinking about that.
Okay.
Or doing like a cheese and fruit event.
Okay.
Apples and cheese or something.
Mm-hmm.
But we had actually talked to the brew downtown about doing a wine event at the store.
Okay.
A wine and cheese event. So
Tasting.
it'll come. Yeah, it'll come.
Yeah, no, I'm curious. I'm just
We're
excited.
growing.
So we can look forward to something next year. Like you're completing your first year in March. You said. I guess there's a review. And then.
And we all have new ideas
Good.
for next year. Yes, we do.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to visit such an event. And also I will follow you today to get an 11-year-old cheddar. And no, I will. Anything else that I didn't ask about Bongards, about the company or the community?
It's a great company to be working for. I said I've been there for 11 years. The benefits are wonderful. They're a great employer.
Yeah.
I probably will be retiring next year, and I'm having kind of second thoughts about it.
It's a tear in your eye.
Almost.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if you know this either, but it's a company that runs 24/7.
Really?
The shifts are 12-hour shifts for the production guys. They work Christmas, they work Easter, they work all the holidays,
Oh wow.
day and night. So it's.
I would have never guessed that we have such a facility in the area. So.
Well, the milk keeps coming in, and they have
Sure.
to keep making cheese. So.
No, yeah, it's very interesting. I think we never really think about it as an average consumer. Maybe more people growing up on a farm. I'm a city person. You're totally detached from the source. Yeah. So yes, you're right. Milk is always being produced by the cow, and then it gets bad, I guess. Yeah, I'm not thinking about it. If it
Well,
comes in the
farmers they have 24-hour storage. They don't
Yep.
have, week storage.
No. No, I agree. Now that you say it, it absolutely makes sense. There's a necessity, but I think we as a consumer, we don't really think about it too often because we just think of milk being in the fridge after it has been
And
prepared.
cheese being in the fridge.
Yes, it's already packed. It's not. We don't even know how it's made anymore. But yeah, no, that was really interesting, and I've been a couple times in your retail shop. I like it, and I'll come again. And I hope more people will explore it and see it as a little hidden gem here in Lakes Country, and find their item for the next plate or dinner or platter or event.
All right, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
And if you are more interested in the cheese making process, we do have a TV that shows the series. I mean, it shows how the cheese is produced in Perham and at our central plant and in Humboldt, Tennessee. It's playing continually all day
And
on a TV, large screen TV,
in
in the retail store.
in the retail store. Okay, good. That's interesting to know. So we can learn something while visiting besides the taste.
You certainly can.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you again, Linda, for coming out, and you have a wonderful weekend ahead.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, this was already our newest episode of the Lake Life Weekend podcast. We sure hope you enjoyed it. Tune in again next week with another great guest and updates. Always check out our website, lakelifeweekend.com, and if you have some comments, please feel free to email us at hello@lakelifeweekend.com, and you have a wonderful weekend ahead.